The recent release of emails from the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein has ignited a political earthquake, fundamentally challenging the official narrative regarding powerful men and their awareness of his criminal activities. For years, the White House has consistently maintained that President Trump cut ties with Epstein decades ago and had no knowledge of the horrific abuse occurring. However, a single explosive message, part of a tranche of documents released by Congressional Democrats, directly contradicts this defense. In a 2019 email exchange with journalist Michael Wolff, Epstein, referencing President Trump, wrote, "Of course he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop." This is a direct, documented claim by the convicted trafficker, suggesting the president was not only aware of the illegal operations, but may have intervened by asking his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, to cease. This allegation moves the issue from simple association to potential direct knowledge of a crime, serving as a political and legal time bomb. The White House immediately responded by labeling the release a manufactured hoax and a political smear, arguing that Democrats are cherry-picking files for sensationalism. Nevertheless, this direct quote stands in stark opposition to President Trump's prior public statements that he only banned Epstein from his Mar-a-Lago resort for simply stealing employees. This confrontation between Epstein's own words and the administration's official denial has raised the stakes, fueling the push in Congress to force a vote on releasing every remaining unredacted file. The newly released files offer terrifying specifics, starting with a crucial 2011 email between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Epstein wrote, "I want you to realize that dog that hasn't barked is Trump." He then refers to a victim who spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. This phrase, "the dog that hasn't barked," is often used in investigative work to describe a significant absence of evidence. Epstein was allegedly telling Maxwell that Trump was the high-profile name who surprisingly remained silent and unmentioned by the media, suggesting a shared understanding between the conspirators about Trump's proximity and silence. This is more than just social gossip. It hints at calculated tactical information control. The second explosive quote, which inspired the viral headline, comes from a 2019 email to author Michael Wolff, months before Epstein's death. When discussing why Trump allegedly asked him to leave Mar-a-Lago, Epstein wrote, "Of course he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop." This quote is a game changer because it moves the accusation from mere association to direct knowledge and attempted intervention. It suggests that Trump was aware of the illegal activities and took action, not by alerting the authorities, but by trying to curb the activity within his private property. This directly challenges the president's legal defense that he was unaware of Epstein's crimes. The third email, dating back to 2015, when Trump's political career was ascending, revealed the cynical management of their relationship. Epstein asked Wolff for advice on how to handle potential CNN questions about their association. Wolff's response suggested Epstein should keep the Trump denial quiet to maintain valuable PR and political currency, implying the relationship was viewed as a strategic tool, a source of leverage, or a political debt that could be cashed in later. This trio of documents paints a picture of high-stakes, calculated efforts to manage the fallout of the relationship, which has now fully collapsed with the release of Epstein's own words. The moment the three explosive emails were released by House Oversight Democrats, the White House instantly deployed damage control, with Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt dismissing the entire affair as a manufactured hoax and a political smear. The administration's counter-narrative hinged on a key detail. While Democrats redacted the victim's name in one email, the White House claimed it was the late Virginia Giuffre, noting that Giuffre herself had previously stated that Trump was merely friendly to her and had not accused the president of any wrongdoing. This served to paint the accuser, Epstein, as a liar and the Democrats as manipulative for selectively leaking the data. This led to immediate infighting on Capitol Hill. Republican members of the Oversight Committee countered the move by releasing a much larger trove of 20,000 pages of documents, accusing Democrats of cherry-picking the most sensational messages to generate clickbait. However, this tactic inadvertently fueled the controversy, raising the critical question, if the full files are harmless, why is the Justice Department still resisting a complete, unredacted release? This political grenade ultimately detonated on the House floor with the successful activation of a discharge petition. For months, a bipartisan group of lawmakers, including Democrats Ro Khanna and Republicans like Thomas Massie and Lauren Boebert, had been trying to force a floor vote on the Epstein Files Transparency Act, a move repeatedly blocked by Republican leadership. But when the petition reached the necessary 218 signatures, secured by the swearing-in of Representative Adelita Grijalva, Speaker Mike Johnson was left with no choice. He must now bring the bill to the floor for a full vote next week, marking an incredible victory for transparency and a massive loss for anyone hoping to keep the files permanently buried. The significance of the impending congressional vote transcends immediate political squabbles, invoking the high legal precedent of Watergate. Legal experts note that for the public good, courts have the power to unseal materials in cases of extreme national importance, like historical civil rights abuses or police corruption. The growing push to release the Epstein files suggests this high standard is now being met, as there appears to be no other way for the public to obtain the full, unvarnished truth. Crucially, the Epstein Files Transparency Act, the bill about to face a floor vote, explicitly forbids the Justice Department from redacting information simply due to embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity. If passed, this measure could effectively end the era of using political influence to shield powerful figures from scrutiny in the scandal. This transparency push puts intense pressure on Attorney General Pam Bondi. Her previous campaign statement on Fox News that the list of Epstein's clients was sitting on my desk right now stands in direct conflict with the Justice Department's later claim that no single client list exists. A full unredacted file release would expose the truth about this contradiction, what Bondi knew and when she knew it, potentially creating a massive legal and ethical liability at the highest levels of the administration. This story is driven by the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's horrific sex trafficking ring, who have fought tirelessly for accountability. The release of Epstein's words, the claim that he knew about the girls, is a vindication of their effort to hold powerful enablers accountable, regardless of wealth or political standing. This moral imperative is the core force driving the congressional vote next week, seeking justice for victims and demanding to know the truth of who enabled this monster. The immediate political forecast confirms that the House will vote on the Epstein Files Transparency Act early next week, a direct consequence of the successful discharge petition. With the procedural block now removed, the bill is expected to pass the House easily, supported by a bipartisan majority. The crucial hurdle, however, remains the Senate. While Republican leadership there has been non-committal, the sheer force of public pressure, amplified by the viral headlines surrounding Epstein's own words, makes it almost impossible for any senator to vote against transparency. This is a rare moment in Washington where the will of the people appears to be overriding typical legislative procedure. This entire drama now presents President Trump with a clear ultimatum. Does he double down on calling the entire scandal a hoax, a defense now severely undermined by the alleged words of his former associate? Or does he preempt the legislative action, release the Justice Department files himself, and attempt to control a narrative that is spiraling rapidly out of his grasp? So far, the official White House position is to deflect, calling on congressional Republicans to focus on the government shutdown. However, the political reality is that this Epstein files controversy is the central drama gripping Washington, running parallel to, and sometimes overshadowing, other political events. The president is quickly running out of viable options to keep the ultimate secrets of the Epstein files buried. This story, moving faster than anyone anticipated, sees the emails out, the White House fighting back, and Congress being forced into a massive, unprecedented transparency vote. The most important question remains, what did you find most shocking in the emails we discussed? And do you believe the White House is covering up something far worse? Or are they right, and is this just a political smear designed to distract? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Do you think the Senate will follow the House? And if you want more people to see this crucial, non-fake news report, please like the video and share it with one person you trust. It helps the algorithm push real reporting like this forward.